Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to workshop. This is workshop number 17. I'm going to review your the assignment set this week, or in actual fact, over the last 2 weeks. Sorry, I was away on business. A few things to do last week, so I'm glad to be back talking about your photographs. Just got a little problem with my microphone at the moment. Seems to be playing about. May have to hold that in place. Anyway, thank you so much to everyone for posting your images up on our Flickr group. Absolutely amazing images that some of you posted. So let's go straight over to the screen share, and we'll start talking about the images which you guys have posted. And I noticed that we're getting quite a few people now posting their images up, which is really good. And another thing I'd just like to mention, I'm really enjoying seeing the fact that you guys are making comments about each other's work, which is great. You know, just keep that going. If you can spare the time to look at someone else's photography and just make a comment with regards to whether you like or you don't, let's be honest, we're trying to help everyone out here. Let's make some good comments about their work, and if you've got some suggestions to make, then put them up. You know, I'm not the only one that is teaching you about your photography, but the main thing is to to help each other. And I've got no objection if people want to make a comment about my work or anybody else's work on the Flickr group. It only goes to add to our enjoyment of photography. So the first image up here is by Atza. Thanks for Atzi. Thanks for posting this one up. Beautiful image. I love the structure of the egg here, the tonality of the egg, and the fact you got the fork and it's balanced beautifully. There's a lot of people who like this image as well. 34 favorites, which is great. There's no other detail, unfortunately, in the EXIF data for this particular image. So I would have liked to have known about what flash you used, or if at all. Doesn't matter if you didn't, but it'd be nice to have known that sort of information. It only says here passive lens adapt on full frame mirrors, 120 for the second, ISO 400. Oh, the soft lighting came from a large window. My apologies, you have put it in there. So yeah, that's great. Using the soft light from the window, beautiful. I love the depth of field on this. You've just thrown everything out, blur in front, blur behind, and the two forks, but the egg showing its textures is in focus, and it's a lovely taken shot. Well done, Atzi. Enjoyed that immensely. On to the next one. A little bit of a play here. You realize you cannot eat money. I like this one as well. So it makes me smile. Obviously taken outside, a little bit of late sun possibly, and yes, you've got 55mm f1.8, 400 the second, 320 ISO. And you can see the shadow created by the plate and the spoon here, and then obviously the shadow there from the fork. So you've really got an almost sideline on light coming, which I'm assuming is from the sun. Clever idea, as someone said here. Clever capture. Money's a symbol. You can't eat symbols. Very clever. All these comments, great comments made down here with regards to your image. This is obviously it was taken on the 13th of May, and look at this: 7,000 odd views and 153 favorites. You're playing with the assignment, and you're playing with the tools, and you're putting something different into the image, which is really what I was looking for. Bringing a little bit of artistry into the image, not just a straight product shot. This by a long stretch is nowhere near that, but you're playing with the use of eating money and just that leaf there as well. It's a clever idea and well put together. Thanks for posting that. This one, when it first came out, Christopher, I was really trying to work out where it was, what the fork was doing, and then it suddenly came to me that this is obviously the pickle here and the handle of the fork, and you've stabbed it through. I think I would have liked a little bit more light on the subject matter. It's just a tad too underexposed for my liking, but said that is very, very, it really made me think. So, and that's what I like about photography. When a photograph makes me think, I'm getting into it. And the interesting point here, which you probably have probably noticed yourself, because I've seen your work before, Christopher. This rim of the glass here, or the jar, is in focus, and the fork is just slightly out of focus. Although it says F8 there, that's interesting. That I'm just trying. Yeah, it's not. And the gherkin is sharp. That's interesting how that's developed. But anyway, it's an interesting shot. I like it. I would just like to have seen a little bit more light on the subject, and I've got my brightness on the screen up to 100%, as you can see. So interesting setup. Nick, let's go through the facts here. Flash was on and fired. 250th f8 105 mil lens, ISO set at 100. And interesting shot. I'm surprised there's not more lighting on there, unless this is where the light in actual fact was thrown. Made me think. Interesting photograph. Stephen, great pattern created here with the forks. Really like this image. The reflections coming off the forks and from your lighting. A nice idea. And again, this is a excuse me, a classic, keeping the center part. Start again. The center part of this circle is on the third of the image. So you've got the fork handles coming in here, and the others playing out of the image. So very well positioned here. I like that a lot. 4 favorites. You should have more than that, to be honest. Flash off, did not fire. 50 mil lens, 1/80th of a second, 4.5. Yeah. I'm just reading your comment here again. It went for pattern and constructed around the intersection of a third. Yes, that's what I just mentioned. Placed on an A2 sketch pad, as it has a slight texture, image converted to black and white. Thanks for that description of how you put it together, Stephen. That's very valuable for others looking at it. And yeah, it says exactly what it is on the tin. It's a nice image. This one as well from Atsy earlier, from the powders on the spoons. Lovely image. I'm just thinking curry all the time I look at this, and I do like a curry. Again, no EXIF data because he is using the Tamron 90mm. That's because the adapter on the camera cannot transfer the information from the lens for the EXIF data. So, but that's not a problem. But he's given us the details, somewhere around about 3.5, 1/10 of a second, ISO 160. I love the blurred background, which is sort of a complement of color to the main colors in the front here of this yellow of the curry powder. I'm assuming it's curry powder. I'm pretty certain it's a spice of life, so I'm assuming it's curry powder. And the spoon here with the powder on top. A very nice image and a great use, in my opinion, great use of depth of field as well. 45 favorites, well done. Let's just see what someone else has written here. There's supposedly written in German, which I can't obviously read. Fantastic image, really gives the feeling of walking around Spice Market. Yeah, it does indeed. It does indeed. Next image up. And funny enough, this was an image which I was thinking of trying to do myself before I put it up. As soon as I saw Stephen put his image up, I thought, well, I can't do that. But anyway, it's just, I love this in the sense of got the edges of the fork, the knife, and the spoon just poking through. So it's a fantastic use of depth of field here. 1.8 on the aperture, 50mm, 1/100th of a second, ISO 100. It didn't use the flash. And again, he's given us the details of how he did it here. He went for extreme shallow depth of field, high key overexposing the image, and the tips of the 3 utensils are in focus, but they tail off into the distance, leaving just a faint impression. Very well thought out here, Stephen. Someone who hasn't done still life photography before, I'll tell you, this is good. This is really good. It really does show. It's one of these images which is almost, you could think is along the lines of a product shot, but It's not. It's artistry and fine artwork. So well done, Stephen. It's one of my favorites, and it is something which I was thinking of doing myself. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think I could have replicated even close to that. Now, this image, when I first saw it by Thorpe, I thought, love it. I really do like it. It's sinister. Knife on the music sheet, the wine glass, the cork of the bottle there, the champagne cork, and well, it's not blood, it's red wine, I'm assuming, but it's sinister and it's look. But the only thing which I was looking at it when I looked at it a little bit closer, I was a little bit disappointed that some of it doesn't appear to be as in focus as I thought it was when I look at it in the smaller dimension. When you blow it up, I'm really struggling to find an area here which I say, that's where the camera focused. Now, probably what's happened here, I'm wondering, was this handheld? Because it's on that point alone, I'm sorry to say this, on that point alone, the lack of sharpness in the image, and I'm trying to find where the camera may have focused itself, and I can't see it. So on that point alone, it's slightly disappointing, because when you look at it at this angle and at this dimension, it looks fantastic. It really does look great. But when you get up and you blow it up, and which you probably would look to print this, I would go back and do this again, and either put the camera on a tripod or set the shutter speed a little bit higher. Probably you think it around about 1/25 of a second. That would drop that down to probably about f5.6, probably f4. I still think you'd have the depth of field in the image. I'd like to see that again. You've got loads of ISO to play with here. Loads of ISO to play with. So yeah, I'd like to see that one again, Thorpe. But as I say, when I first saw it, I thought brilliant. And I was going to say that's my favorite. But when I in actual fact blew it up, I'm looking for the sharp focus of the image. You've got some nice grain here, but there isn't a sharp focus image around. Sorry, Thorpe, but you've got 4 favorites. And looking at it like that, it looks great. But once you get in close to it, it loses out. This one, Thorpe, is better than the last one. And, well, again, it's a sinister shot. Very, very suggestive. Is this cough mixture that someone's warming up, or is it something a little bit more sinister than that? But that said and done, I love the use of the light. I love the bubbles in the spoon and the background, the typewriter and the printed, screwed up print there. And there's the needle, which probably does give it away in actual fact what this is. Obviously, someone trying to stay awake to do their work in literature. So I'm glad you enjoyed the assignment, Thorpe. This one is a very, very sinister photograph. And, well, hats off to you. You've gone for something totally out of the ballpark. And thanks for doing it. I hope you weren't going to do anything with that fluid afterwards. Thorpe's gone for something, a fork in the road. Great play on words. Love it. Using the X100T. Let me just go back actually 1 second. I want to check on something. And use the X100T on the last image. So that's interesting. You use that one, that camera. Fork in the road, caught in the light here. Great shadow of the fork, a little bit of blur in the background, all darkened out. Main concentration in the lower third of the image. I really like this one as well. Great idea. Nice image from John Ilko. Thanks for the comment, John. 1/30 of a second and ISO 1600. But this is why, I'm sorry to say it, why I love Fuji cameras. Look at the detail in that at 1600 ISO. Fantastic. Justin, I think you've been watching Clockwork Orange a little bit too much. Great image, great use of the tools that I asked you to use. The eye just coming through the fork there, the shadow, the detail here in this spoon, a little bit of a glimmer of the hair on the outside. And you've done what I love, as I've said to you many times. I love the vignette on the outside. You deserve more favorites than this, far more favorites. And a very interesting setup use here. 5D Mark III with a 100 to 400 mil lens, f5, 1/15 of a second, 1600 ISO, sorry, and 200 mil right in the basically almost in the middle there of that zoom range. Great shot. This reminds me so much of Daido Moriyama's type work. Sinister, dark, high contrast, beautifully detailed, and yeah, great shot. Thank you, Justin, for sharing that image with you. This one here, was this part of the assignment? Because if it was, I need some help. It's a great scene, street scene shot. Love it. And guys obviously are down and out on the outside, a tramp, or maybe a guy without a home, homeless guy. And you've seen that, the anger, like the image. I hope I'm not missing something here, but it's a good street shot. Thanks for sharing it. No EXIF data to view on that. Let's see if there is any. When I do that, it probably... No, it doesn't. Not to worry. Thanks for putting it in anyway. Stephen here, a silhouette of images against a lighter background. Let's see, he's very good. He's put the details down and included all the actual cutlery and went for their shadow. Oh, these are shadows, right? Okay. I didn't read this here. I just looked at the images earlier on, converting into black and white. Yeah, it's a great, a clever idea. A clever idea. I like the way you've got them angled out there and the lighter background, and very. It's nice to see you guys thinking outside the box and just putting something on a table or like me, putting it on a computer. I was editing an image and was getting a bit frustrated, and I just had the knife next to me and put it on there. I thought, oh, that's an image. So yeah, this is, believe it or not, I've called it cut here, but it should be called cut and paste. Sorry about the pun. Thank you for the favorites. I'd like to read some comments if you've got anything to say about it, if you think I should have done something. But this is effectively, obviously, it was taken with my X100S, 5.6, 1/30 of a second, 23 mil lens, a fixed lens on there, obviously. No, and the flash did fire, because I wanted the reflection in the knife of the keyboard. When I came to processing the image, the flash obviously threw a different color across everything, and I decided to go to the mono. And then I brought the screen out by literally just adjusting the shadow slider in Lightroom, and then slightly overexposing it to whiten out the keyboard top there. So that's basically how I went about that one. And the second one, which I went using the 100S again, 5.6, 30th of a second, ISO 2500. Thanks for the comment, Etsy. Great lighting in these sweet shots. Like the pun. Yes, this is honey. I call this dripping spoon, but in other posts I've called it medicinal. I found it interesting, as your fact, where you got the honey in this yellow color, or its orange form, but when it was dripping, because of the flash, it just totally whitened out and made the drip very opaque and clear. And I've really just enhanced everything that I could here. I've adjusted the white balance, I've sharpened it more, put more clarity into it, and saturated the color. So the spoon now takes on a sort of a blue hue with the silver, and then of course the saturation of the honey itself. So I was quite pleased with that one, actually. I got the drip just right. Yeah, let's play that. Thanks for the 5 favorites. This one was the original idea of using the fork for the honey to drip onto. And again, I've decided to go for one of the filters in Lightroom. I forget which one it is, actually. I'll try and find it if it's in the EXIF data. Lightroom, it should say it down here. No, unfortunately it doesn't. It might be there somewhere. No, I can't see it. It was one of the filters anyway in the Lightroom package, where basically the majority of the image was taken down to a mono, but it managed to still hold on to the yellow stroke orange of the honey. And yet again, with the flash firing, the thinner run from the bottle became clear from view. And that's all that have been loaded up. So thank you very much indeed for all those. I really did enjoy looking at them and also reading the comments which have been made by you as well. And I really would like to emphasize to make more comments of your the guys in the group, basically, to help them along the line. And if there's a comment that you see which you that you think is worthwhile making, then make that comment. It's only going to help you as well in critiquing work. There's nothing better than that. And at the same time, it'll help the photographer as he develops his skills as well. So that was a really great assignment. Thank you so much, and thank you also for the comments by other people, the guys in the Flickr group that said they'd really enjoyed doing the assignment with something which they'd never done before. And this is what photography is all about: getting outside of your own comfort zone and trying something different, and helping you to learn different aspects of photography. I don't do still life at all, but it certainly was a bit of fun. Just grabbing hold of my Fuji X100S and taking those shots. So thanks again to everyone for doing that. I hope you've enjoyed workshop number 17. It was just basically a review of the images posted. There will be a workshop next week. I'm thinking that next week we may delve into the world of HDR. And we'll have a look at it and see the people that are the photographers that are creating this work, why it's liked and why it's disliked so much. I think is a good point as well to think about, and how it can be used. And what I'm going to try next week is to set the show up on still going through on Google Plus, but I set it up onto the Safari, which will allow me to use Lightroom to show you some little tips which I've picked up from some of the tutorials that I've watched on YouTube for producing HDR imagery. So high dynamic range. Next time round, there will be a book for you to have a look at, for you to probably think about buying if you like that sort of work. And let's all meet up the same time next week and talk about HDR. Hope you've enjoyed this workshop. Thanks again for watching, and see you soon. Bye for now.